So for starters, Levi tortures Danny Trejo for the whereabouts of Eren and Historia. So definitely this month's chapter was more about controlling the mass media and once again being very political about just how to go about these things and can they actually defeat the royal government when they have total control over the media and what people's perceptions are. And it's kind of interesting because this really correlates to how real life goes as far as like, even if it's the truth, if it's not portrayed as the truth, if it's just done in perception of somebody else's word against yours, ultimately the truth sometimes won't even take effect and it, in a sense, won't even matter because if the king, you know, regardless of how fucked up he is, if his word is bond and he controls the media and he could change perception of what people think, then it really doesn't matter. So this was really a struggle about getting the word out there to the people so that the people can understand ultimately the truth and see who's really in the right and who's in the wrong. And you can definitely see that Erwin's head is on the chopping block because at the end of the day, they want somebody to take responsibility for what has happened and what the Survey Corps have been doing. And they ultimately look like they're going to take the blame out on him. Like, they look like they've been fucking him up and they're probably going to execute him very soon. And, I mean, nobody is really close to ultimately saving him. So this could definitely be the end of Erwin. And how ironic would it be, though, if he did die when it's the man that's willing to sacrifice anything to save humanity ultimately dies at the hands of humanity. That would be ironic and fucked up and just shows sometimes how stupid humanity is. At the end of the day, unless the government and the kingdom and everything knows that there's no way out of defeating the Titans and everything, and that's why they don't give a fuck. It's like, let us just rule within these walls that they allow us to, then ultimately what they're doing is just stupid, selfish, and ignorant as fuck. Because why would you face yourself against your allies? Because all of humanity should be allies at this particular point. And why would you do this to one of your allies unless you know that there's no way out? So unless they know, like, the Titan of all Titans, the Gorilla Titan and all of them, have them under control and basically saying, yo, we'll kill you at any time, and that's why they're doing this thing, then ultimately this just shows how stupid fucking humanity can be sometimes. Now, I'm real curious to see what Mikasa's reaction is going to be after finding out in this chapter that Kenny is an Ackerman, and the way it was said, it kind of makes me wonder, could she already know who Kenny is? I doubt that because, I mean, it just doesn't seem likely. But then that also makes you wonder, okay, what is the connection? Because when we see Mikasa in the beginning, it seemed as though her family, you know, that was her family. I don't think she was adopted or anything like that. So it makes you wonder, what is her connection to him as well as Levi? Levi's been known to be an Ackerman as well. It's definitely making me question what's up with this whole Ackerman thing. One thing we do know, though, definitely, is that the Ackermans are badasses. Probably one of my favorite characters in this whole chapter was Hange. She was just all over the place, coming in like some fucking CSI spy, coming in there like, do what I say, and if you don't do what I say, we're gonna have some problems. And I think ultimately, if everyone that found out already at this particular point about the government and who's right and who's wrong, what the military police are doing compared to what the Survey Corps are doing, then either two things are going to happen. Either the military police and the government are going to just assassinate every single person in that little complex, that little village or whatever, or ultimately they're going to have to print a newspaper. I can honestly see it going even worse for them as far as like, all it would take would be for the military police to wipe out everybody in that little village and get rid of the people that know about it in general. Just like everybody around there, just get rid of them. And then ultimately there's no story and there's no way to prove what they said. So while it was a good move in a sense to get the people knowing about it, ultimately it's not the entirety of, you know, everyone inside the walls. So the military police, we've already seen them be fucked up before. Like, they'll do whatever it takes to control and ultimately get what they want. They'll just kill everyone in there. So they're basically in a race for time because they have to get that story out immediately. If not, all it would take would be for the government to basically come in, kill everyone, and then, you know, it won't go nowhere. So they really need to get that story out ASAP, even if Hanji has to force this motherfucker to do it, because it's like, you idiot, they're gonna kill you either way, they're gonna kill your family either way. At least with this one, you might have a fighting chance. Print the fucking story, you dickhead. Okay, Flegel sitting on that dude's head, I'm sorry, I couldn't take that as beastly. It was just like funny and kind of, he looked crusty as ever. It was like, it was cool what he said and how he's like basically gonna be controlling shit or running shit, but ultimately it was like, bro, you're just like sitting on some dude's head looking like a fucking puff muffin. Just stop. And ultimately we did get a little bit of progression in this one. Basically people are finding out, and that's what needs to be done, because ultimately right now everybody's looking like the Survey Corps are bastards, even though they lay their lives on the line day and night against these titans. So the people finding out, they can slowly overthrow the government, because, you know, one of the big things again in society is the people are the ones that have the power. Ultimately, while the government can say whatever they want, if every single person bands together, you can overthrow a government, and this is how you do it. So Attack on Titan, I will say one thing, it's gotten very, very political, to the point where, like, everything is almost around politics. Like, this entire chapter, if you really think about it, is about politics and how to overthrow this government that's basically ruling with an iron fist. So, very political chapter. It was still a good chapter. I will say, though, and I've said it already a couple different reviews, Attack on Titan doesn't feel like Attack on Titan as of right now. It really feels more like it's taking some of the elements of what it was and kind of going in a political route for now. And I'm really hoping that we do get back to what Attack on Titan once was. And I don't refer to the action for anybody. You just want action. No, that has nothing to fucking do with it, because we've been getting action upon action in a lot of these chapters. I'm mainly referring to the struggle of humanity against the monsters that are the Titans. But, of course, at this particular point, what it's basically trying to say is, before we can conquer our enemies, we have to conquer ourselves. So, a lot of subliminal messages in there. Overall, good chapter. I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10. But I really do want to hopefully get past a lot of this at some given point. I mean, Erwin's life is on the line, so I'm really scared about that. I hope he doesn't. Ideally, I would like for Erwin, especially humanity's defender, to die against the enemy, not against humanity itself. While it's ironic, it just seems wrong for the characters. It feels like a big fuck you to him. And I really hope Levi doesn't die at all this, because they were basically saying that if they take Levi's head, it'll probably quail it. At the end of the day, first of all, Levi's smart. He's like, no, they're not going to stop anything. They're going to kill all of us, so you're not taking my head. And just, yeah, ultimately, good stuff. But I really do want to, at some given point, get back to the Titan stuff. And it's like, any month now, Titans could pop in at any time and fuck this whole shit up. So I guess we just gotta wait for that. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, what do you think about this very political driven chapter? Are you a little bit on the I don't really care about this politics side, or are you just like enjoying it for the ride? I'm kind of in the middle. It's like I really want to get back to the fight against Titans, but it's understandable what we're going through right now with this shitty government. It's like, how can we fight our enemies when our comrades are basically holding us down? But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.